Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with just a quick video for you. This is Panzerkampf Clash of Tanks, and this is actually a Kickstarter that I missed, but thankfully I have found out there is a late pledge, which I wanted to actually show you guys, just in case there's anyone else who missed it. I mean, there's so many things that come through now that it's impossible to keep track of all of them. So when I stumble across something, a little gem like this from especially smaller publishers that don't have as much reach, I like to be able to, spread the word a little bit to try to help them out. But this is definitely a game that caught my interest. Set in World War II, and it's a tactical skirmish game, basically with tank miniatures. And it's the little tiny, cute little tank miniatures that I really like. And my boy Stuka, the legend, we're not worthy, did a little video series on it, and that caught my attention. So I was like, okay, yeah, I want to see if I can get this. And when I contacted them, they gave me the link for the late pledge. So I'm going to put that here in the description. Make sure you guys pop down to them. They're not like sponsoring me or sending me anything, nothing like that. I just like it. I thought it looked cool. I jumped onto it, so I wanted to show you guys. If you do decide to do it, it'll take you to this link here, Kick and Go. And it is in Spanish, which I don't speak, but the first part is just picking what version, and like many of the Kickstarters, the only version available is like one version, and it's the advanced version. Basically, they have the basic set, the medium set, and the advanced set, and it's really just how many minis you get with it. And it's anywhere between 6, 8, or 10. So this is the 10 mini version of it. Just leave it there. The second thing, you have to choose what language you want, Spanish or English. Obviously, if you speak whatever, that's what you pick. And then email and telephone number. That's all you got to put down on it. And then hit this register button right here at the bottom. And it'll add you to their link. And you're not pledging now, but what that's going to do is add you to the list. So if you do decide to back the game, you'll get the link for the pledge manager. So when the pledge manager comes through, you can come and do the usual Kickstarter thingy that happens after a game has been kickstarted. So I'm not going to show you all the video stuff. That's fairly in-depth. I'm going to show you actually a little bit of Stuka Joe's videos, because he had a little bit more going on, some cool stuff. And just to show you over here on the right side, this is the pledge levels that I was talking about previously. The only one that you're going to have access to will be this one, the 40 pound or more. Or that's 40 euros, I think. Yeah, I think that symbol is the 40 euros. So forgive me on that one. But it's little resin tanks. There's going to be 10 that come with it, and then a selection of other things. So let's scroll down. And there are some stretch goals. So I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is what you're going to be looking at as far as the miniatures that are included for each side. So it's Russian tanks and German tanks that are going to be into it. And see, the basic version has the 6, so it's got 3 Panzer IVs and 3 T-34s that come in the basic. And then the medium adds in a Stug 3 and an Su-76. And then the advance adds in the Tiger and the KV-1. So that's what you're seeing here, the T-34s, the Panzer IVs, the Tiger, the SU, all that good stuff. But the few extras besides those original 10, I believe, are the Kickstarter stretch goals. All right. So I'm not going to go through the whole Kickstarter page. We're going to, like I said, let you guys see a little bit on Stuka's video, but I'm not going to rip it. I'm going to basically say, hey, go look at his video, because he did a good job showing it. But you guys can see here, this is what the tanks look like. And I really think these are going to be good, because they're small enough that without a whole lot of painting, you can make them look real good. Just do a primer in green and a wash, or a primer in gray and a wash, and you're good. You can stop there and they'll look perfectly fine. Now, the more you do, the better they're going to look, obviously. And here's some more of these. The Panzer IV that comes with it. This is the Tiger. And I like these little miniatures for the terrain, but that is an add-on if you want to do that, and I'll show that to you guys. And this is an 88 on the back of a half track, which just looks freaking awesome. And these little miniatures are designed to pivot because part of the game is the turret, what direction your turret's facing. So it can face forward, to the front sides, to the rear sides, and then to the rear. And you actually have to keep track of that when you're playing the game. Some of these tokens here have simulate terrain like trees, things like that. Yeah. Oh, I love this Stug. That looks really good. You guys can see it doesn't take a whole lot to really make this stand out. What you're seeing here is the maneuver for the tanks, themselves. So this little template, if your tank maneuvers at a speed of 2, you're going to move 2 of these templates. So you'll place a couple of them in front of it, however you're doing it. Now, of course, the harder your turn, that might eat up some of your speed. So if you're turning at 90 degrees, you're not going to be able to go as fast. And that looks just so cool because you can pull the turret off, put a little smoke coming out of it when they get destroyed. Now, see, the vehicle cards here, this is what shows you your stats. Things like how much damage they do, depending on what type of round they're firing, if they get any modifier bonuses, their armor levels at different sides. So the front armor level, the top, the back, the sides, all that good stuff. I really like this because the game is deep enough to give you that rich tactical experience, but simplistic enough that you can look at the card and you've got it. You understand everything you need to know. Like when we're looking here at this Panzer IV with this little 2, like, okay, well, it's got 2 of those maneuver arrow templates that it can use, right? These are its armor values. It has a 7.5 centimeter gun. These are its penetration values at these ranges. So obviously the farther the range, the less penetration it's going to do. Same thing looking over here at our T-34. Farther the range, the less penetration. So you want to kind of get in close, but that gets you in close to your enemy as well. And then I believe these numbers here at the bottom are how much damage they do when they hit. And I'm not sure what the very bottom numbers are. Let's see. It does list down, okay, defensive armor modifier are what those numbers have to do with. Some vehicles have better armor than others. The attacker has to add or subtract this modifier to their basic damage value dice roll. So that's what these very bottom numbers are. And like I said, these are the damage values, right, that they're going to do, modifiers, penetration values. So it's really easy once you look at it, and I've only watched Stuka's video on this to understand what all these numbers mean at a glance. So as you scroll down, you see some more pictures. It shows what the basic game's going to come with, which is the 6 tanks. Obviously, if you late back now, you're not going to be getting the basic. You're actually going to be getting the higher version, which is cool because who doesn't want a friggin' KV-1 and a Tiger tank? They're freaking awesome, man. Comes with 6-sided dice, rulebook, scenarios, the tanks, the marker scenography sheet, which I'm assuming just means the trees and buildings and stuff like that. So you're going to have a sheet that has just flat, like cardboard terrain you can use, but there is resin terrain that you can add as an add-on bonus if you're so inclined to do so. Now, if you have a 3D printer, especially a resin 3D printer, there are multitudes of little miniature buildings that you can find out there. You can size them and all that good stuff. So even if you wanted to just back the basic game or the game that you can get now, if you have the ability to print, you can make whatever terrain that you want to add to this. And the basics of the game, the initiative phase, determining who's going to start first, and that does change. There's a penalty that adds if you win in a row, so it's less likely for the same person to keep going. Repair phase, because vehicles can possibly be repaired, which is cool. Maneuver phase, which we were talking about previously with like this arrow token here that you see behind this T-34. And then there's a token that you place with that shows how fast it went, because it's going to modify not only the shots that the T-34 takes, but the shots that are fired at the T-34. Because when you're moving, it's harder to hit your target, but you're also a harder target to hit. So one little token right behind the tank signifies everything you need to know about it. And here are just some pictures showing some more battlefields laid out. And then the turrets themselves do need to be able to rotate, because that does come into play with the game, like I was talking about earlier, depending on which angle you pivot your turret at to fire at. And I want to show you guys, just scrolling through some of the pictures and let you see some of these stretch goals. So we unlocked a different version of the Panzer IV T-34-85, because yes, that's freaking awesome. The Panzerjaeger Elephant, because awesome. And then it's saying that this 88 flak mill is still locked. So hopefully we might be able to get a few late pledges in there and kick that over and get that added on. These are the add-ons that I was talking about previously with the Russian pack. Basically adds another thing of Russian tanks. German pack, another thing of Russian tanks. So if you don't have the ability to print out extra tanks, vehicles, and terrain, you don't have a 3D printer, you can go ahead and order some more of the vehicles. Russian Guard pack, which just has a buttload of stuff into it. Wow, man, I can't wait to get some of these and paint them up, because it's going to look so good. Down here, Scenery Pack 1, you see it's got a few of the vehicles, some tank traps, some ruined buildings that you can spread around. And Scenery Pack 2 looks like Scenery Pack 1 with just more stuff. You know, barrels, tank traps, crates, all that good stuff. Like I said, if you do have the ability to print on your own, you can print off similar looking items for yourself. So that's up to you whether or not you want to order these scenario packs or not. They do have the ability to order the game mats, the Neoprene game mats. And I went ahead and looked up the sizes on these things, because it's, was it 55 centimeters by 90 centimeters. And that's roughly the poster size, generally poster size that we see on a lot of the paper maps. I think that comes out to 22 by 34 inches, roughly. So that gives you an idea of how big these maps are. You can do a couple of snow, couple of desert, couple of meadow, mix and match however you want to. The maps look good. Neoprene always works better than the vinyl. Vinyl, God, I can't stand the vinyl. It tends to roll and, you know, just doesn't stick down to the table as well. Maps are really up to you guys on whether or not you need them, if you have some or not. And then they're saying that they are planning to have the game printed and delivered by June of this year. We'll see. I don't know if they'll be able to hit that. And they do have some other cool games out, some Ships of the Line stuff, some other things. If you're interested, take a look at their website here, I'm going to mess up saying this, TrafalgarEditions.com. Check them out there, see if there's anything that you might be interested in. And like you see here, right here at the top, the man, the legend, Mr. Stuka Joe, got a preview copy of the game. And you guys can see him here talking about it.
And it has to stop immediately when it enters the forest. So at the end of that first move, we have to stop the tank. And we make a die roll to see if the tank becomes immobilized. And only on a 6 it does. So here the result is a 4. So in the next turn, it can continue to move normally. But if the result would have been a 6, then we place behind the tank this immobilized marker, and the tank cannot move for the remainder of the game.
All right, I gotta stop watching this, because I could watch Stuka videos all damn day long. I tell you what, I love Stuka. If on the off chance that you're a wargamer who has not seen a Stuka video, by all means go check him out. The guy is vastly undersubbed for the quality of the content that he puts out. I mean, just leaps and bounds above others. He really does an outstanding job. Really good guy. But he does a good job going through the game, kind of explaining how movement works, how the initiative phase works, how firing works, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out his video showing all this cool stuff. You guys see the Panzer IV there. Oh, it just looks so good out here on the table. He even does good with his little screen stuff going on here. Better than I have going on with that. Turret maneuvers, all this cool stuff. Definitely check out his video. It is very much worth watching. And there are a few others who did some as well. Julius, I am not as sure on. I haven't just watched as much as stuff. Bonding with Board Games, obviously. They did a video on it as well. So make sure you check out those videos to see if you guys are interested in it. The only real reason I'm doing this is to just try and help get a little more publicity out there for them. The game wasn't overly backed. They met their goal, but they are trying to get, as many late pledges as they can. And I think this is a problem some of those smaller companies run into, especially companies that aren't based here in the US or, things like that, where they're not as easily found. Sometimes they do have a harder time just getting the word out there to everyone else. Most of the YouTubers who do this stuff are based in the US, not discounting any of the ones who are in the rest of the world. But I just wanted to try to help in any little way I can to get the word out there. The game looks freaking phenomenal. If you are into tactical games, you like World War II tank-based games, obviously this is one that's going to catch your attention, and you definitely really, really want to check it out. And plus, I love it with just those little tanks. You don't have to put a whole lot of effort into it to make it look good on the table. And part of the reason I'm kind of excited about this is that when it comes to printing resin, if you guys don't know that, most resin printers have a smaller print bed than FDM, traditional plastic-based printers, so you can't print as large of an object. So something like this, where it's smaller vehicles, smaller buildings, I'll actually be able to print out some things easily to be able to add to this game and expand it and grow it in my own way. And the game just looks like a blast, to expand out. And it's definitely not expensive. 42 euros, not sure what that is, 50 bucks, somewhere around there. And then shipping costs, which hopefully won't be too bad, 10 to 20 bucks in that range. So we'll see. But definitely worth it, it looks like, for the amount of content and stuff that you're going to get with this. So definitely make sure you check it out. Remember, you're going to click here for the late pledge. It's going to take you to this website. All you got to do is enter your information here and hit register, and they will add you to the list so you can get a notification when the pledge manager opens and jump right into it. And even if you're not sure yet, go ahead and add your name to it, because you can always decline the pledge manager later, but you can't go and add your name to it later if you end up changing your mind in favor of getting it. Know what I mean? All right, but that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.